What is going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurtyoy and welcome back to a very hot day in my little corner of nowhere. It's very hot, so if there is a lot of sound, I've got the window open, and if I do look like I'm cooking myself, it's because it's very hot. I can't stress that enough. But today we've got, another FPL video looking at who the best starts are, which teams have the best starts, which teams you're looking at for potential bargain buys for your big players, and all that sort of stuff covered today in this video. Now I've got 9 teams I've picked out. Contrary, I've seen a few other creators do videos like this. I've got a few different choices than them, so quite a unique video. Stay around for that. We're going to get through the top 3 from the top 6 teams, then the Euro push and mid-table teams, and also the unexpected teams that you wouldn't expect to have a good start but could also be quite hidden gems. We're going to start off though with the top 6 and a club that is looking like it's going to spend big. And that is, of course, Manchester United. They spent big on Pogba, who hopefully will come into his £89 million price tag this season. Many people saying, oh, he shouldn't be slated. Many people saying that he should really be slated and really slating him. I'm sort of in the middle. He hasn't done too bad, he hasn't done too good, but let's face it, on this season alone, no way worth £89 million. But as for Man United, their first 6 games is what I'm going to be looking at, and everyone's first 6 games is what I'm going to be looking at. But inside their first 6, they've got no of the big 6 teams. None of the big 6. Well, big 5 in their case, but none of them, which is insane for them. And they have got tricky ties. West Ham at home is going to be tricky. Same with Leicester at home, Stoke away, Everton at home, Southampton away. They're all tricky games, but they're tricky games where you can see them getting a win. You can see them, I can see them going 18 points in the first 6. I really can, but that's how they play. If they play like last season Man United, it'll be a few 0-0s, a few 1-0s. Teams will be able to sell. They've got to have that finishing touch, that sort of attacking ability to break through the teams that are going to sit behind them. But in general, point prediction, I'm going 15 to 18 points. I think you're looking at the pre-season games for Man United for any permanent starters. He'd like to chop and change his team now and again. Last season, De Bruyne, but Valencia I think is a key player for them this season. Next up we have Manchester City, just going across the a few roads, and we're at Manchester City now. And what do I see in Man City? Well, yes, they've got Liverpool at home, and you look at Everton at home. They're 2 tough games, but their home games, you're looking at them scoring goals. So their attacking players are definitely there. The defence, I think you shouldn't be worrying about just now. See how they develop. The pre-season and then also the first few games before going and taking a risk on a Man City defender. But I think Man City, you've got to look at the fact that they've got 3 away games against relatively weak teams that they could easily score 4, 5, 6 goals in. I mean, yes, they did play a weaker team, but as proved as Watford at the end of the season. Brighton have just come up, and Bournemouth, well, they had one of the worst defensive records in the league. As for their home games, again, Man City at home, you'd always put your money on them. Any Man City home game, apart from the top 6, you're thinking, it's a banker for me accumulator. So I think Man City again will have a really solid start, rivaling Man United up the top of the table. Lastly, from the top 6, we've got Liverpool. Now, an interesting one. I don't think many people have said this one. I think Liverpool have got a good start. You're looking at their home games. You've got Crystal Palace, Arsenal and Burnley. The top 6 games, you've got Arsenal, Man City in 3 and 4 game week respectively. They're tough games. Man City away is going to be a really tough game. But it's those big games which Liverpool love. Their record against the big teams was phenomenal, considering, without that, if it was like an average record, they wouldn't have got top 4, so got them top 4. I think with the right, players brought in, I feel like they could really have a good chance of beating both those teams. And you're looking at the other 4 being Watford, Palace, Burnley and Leicester. I think, again, the attackers are going to look very good. Your Coutinhos, your Firminos, your Manes, your Mo Salahs. It depends on who they bring in and where they bring reinforcements in. They could even be better in the defence with a few signs, but I think in general, Liverpool attackers, you're looking at them and you're thinking they are a juicy bunch. Next up, we've got the Euro push and the mid-table section. We start that off with Southampton. Now, they are without manager at the moment, but with the right manager, the right signings, they're looking off a good, solid start. And their first 6 is, you're looking at Swansea at home, you're looking at West Ham, Huddersfield, Watford, Palace and Man United. The big thing though, is that they've got 4 home games in the first 6. That's because the London Stadium is not available in football mode come West Ham's opener or first home game of the season against the Saints, so it's been reversed like Liverpool's one for Burnley was. Liverpool side of 3 away games, Burnley started with 4 home games out of the first 6. Just like this time with Southampton. I think that's insanely good. That means they've got really good home fixtures. Man United, that could even grab a point off if they're doing well. The 2 away games, Crystal Palace and Huddersfield, you're thinking solid start for Southampton. You're looking at players like Charlie Austin if he's back to full fitness, Dusan Tadic. I think they look really good prospects. Following on from them, we have Newcastle. Now Newcastle, very much so, they're promoted. We've got to take that with a pinch of salt. But many people saying they've got a strong team. They won't go anywhere near the relegation battle. I'm not too sure on any of it, but I am sure on they've got a fantastic start. Now, game week 1, right off, Tottenham at home. They could still grab something, but you expect Newcastle to sign well. They've looked better under Benitez. When Benitez joined in their last Premier League campaign before getting relegated, he did well with them. I think on the form alone, I don't think they've been relegated from the point he joined, with the points they gained, that is. And going up, yes, Tottenham's a bad game. They're looking at Brighton and Huddersfield being played in game week 6 and game week 2. You've got a home game against West Ham and Stoke. You both clown it as winnable, and away against Swansea, which again you don't know what you're going to get with Swansea. So, apart from the Tottenham game, Newcastle could start the game with the first 6 with 5 wins. It could be huge for Newcastle. But take a pinch of salt. I think it could be a little bit harder, people say, but in general, it's a good looking first 6. Next up we have West Brom, and again that game week 6 with the tough teams is coming in, and they have Arsenal away, so that could be a really tough game. But inside their first 5 you're looking at Bournemouth, Stoke and West Ham at home, Burnley and Brighton away. And I think with West Brom's steely determination, the fact that they haven't reached 40 points yet so they won't give up, is a big part of the fact that West Brom defenders I think could be huge in this one. You're looking at your Ben Foster being a huge one. You're looking at players in the defence, maybe Macaulay. You're looking at Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans, I think, is going to be a huge one this season. But yeah, in general, really good start. So the defence is looking good. The attack, I'm not too sure. It depends who they sign, who they let go. I think the defence, with Pewter's side, you're always going to get a good defence. I think they should have a good start. Now, on to the unexpected one. I've got Burnley in there first. And that is quite simply because, and let me finish, I don't think it could be too bad. Now, granted, they had 1 away win in the entirety of last season. And their first 3 away games, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool. And you're looking at their home games, West Brom at home, Palace at home, Huddersfield at home. They're all tricky games. But the big point is Tom Heaton. Yes, they could be losing Michael Keane. That could even make their defence even more leaky, which means even more saves for Mr. Heaton. Now, that's the only part of it. Tom Heaton. Depends what price is. If he's 5 million, I think it could be too much. 4.5 could be a great price. But in general, it depends how much he is. But I think for the defence-wise, can be looking for a lot of bonus points. And a 0-0 draw against a few of the top teams, and you look at clean sheets at home, could be a really, really profitable start for any Burnley defence. Next up, we have Huddersfield. Now again, a team that's been promoted with another good start. They actually play none of the top 6. Their home games include Newcastle, promoted, West Ham, or not West Ham, Southampton away, and also Leicester with their away games. You're looking at Crystal Palace, Burnley and West Ham, as I said. They're games which are winnable. Yes, they are tough, but they're a team which will look to attack, look to counter, look to play well, in passing, the passing style that you generally see the bigger teams. I think they'll suit that well. And I think with the right signings, they could be really, really dangerous. Now, there's also a risk, that's why I put it in the risk section, that, like with Tom Heaton maybe not getting any saves, Huddersfield could have a really bad start. You never know what you're going to get from a promoted team. But I feel like there is that element with an odd Huddersfield attacker here or there, maybe a midfielder or an attacker. Looking at Kuchunga really badly. I think he's a really good little scout for you. I think it could be a really good start for some of the attackers. And lastly, we have Brighton. Now, I like Newcastle right off first game week, home against Manchester City. Now, granted, they could get a 0-0, start the season strong. They could also get swiped away by Man City's 2,000 attackers, which, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Aguero's in goal by the end of this transfer window. You've got Gabriel Jesus in left back, Bernardo Silva right back. It's all out attack from Pep. So I can see them getting, you know, teams swiped away. But Leicester away, Watford away, West Brom at home, Bournemouth away, and Newcastle at home. Looking at it, I'm thinking, yes, could be a good start. But it also depends on the team. Again, we don't know much about their Premier League quality. Yes, they were one of the best teams, if not the best team in general. Just lost out by a point for the title of the Championship campaign. That could all change. We've seen it so many times. Teams go up and not do too well compared to what people thought in the Championship. So you're looking at it, you're thinking Brighton could do really well, but be careful. You know, signings are key. They get good signings, could do well. Bad signings, maybe not. But it's just a waiting game now. And that happens to be that for this video. I hope you've enjoyed. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know. Who do you guys think is going to have the best starts? Maybe point-wise, maybe FPL-wise. What FPL attackers, midfielders, defenders, goalkeepers are you looking at to have a really good start, really good fast start, before maybe using your early wildcard this time? Thank you all for watching though. Hope you've enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.